coming up.
If I had to suck off 20 guys in it after that, I'd be fucking exhausted.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm unethically unmonogamous.
I'm a feminist, but some of my sexual fantasies aren't.
So you sympathise with an upskirter here?
God.
Apparently, Attenborough and Schofield tag team.
It's very
I'm going
low.
to get cancelled for being on this podcast.
Right.
We got you a gift.
My crucial moment. Oh, look at this.
We got you a gift.
So kind. Thank you so much.
Because we're big fans of what you do here.
Are you? I mean, it seems unlikely. If I'm honest.
Well, no, I mean...
This is a real departure for you guys, I would think.
Well, I'll put these... I just want to make sure the camera sees.
There's some beautiful flowers that you've clearly got like a service station, like a gas station.
I got him on the way in.
Did you?
No,
well,
it's irrelevant. But the point is this: we're just so glad to have you here. I mean, we will. Like, I don't know if you're aware of the podcast. Bad Boys Done Good. We've led a life, but now we're trying to seek a redemptive arc.
That's
and
right.
We're speaking to a whole bunch of people. You know, some ex-criminals. People you would describe as toxic men. And now, on today's episode, we got you, feminist. One of the best.
thank you very
One
much.
of the best feminists.
Cheers.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers
One of the
to
best
you,
feminists.
Deborah.
Now,
Yes.
now, our audience, a lot of these kids that listen to us, as we mentioned, a lot of incels, a lot of people who've been institutionalized, a lot of unemployed. You know, we're going to ask you questions so that they can maybe get an understanding of some of your viewpoints here.
Yeah.
So we'd like to start with number one. What is a feminist?
What is a feminist? What do you think a feminist is? Can I ask Tony?
What do I think of feminist? I think it's about equal opportunity.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
In what ways do you think men do not have equal opportunities with women? What are ways in which men consistently come up against a sort of structural issue where they are put into a firing line or some kind of situation that women don't need to generally worry about?
You can tell she's proper because she didn't even answer the question. She asked her own question. She took your question and threw it back in your face with all the long words and complicated.
We've been trained to do it.
Is that feminism in action? What you've just done there?
Feminism in action. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking feels like it.
Right.
Yeah.
To answer your question, look, you're talking to someone. I consider myself a feminist. I hire a lot of broads for what I do. I got a lot of exotic dancers in the Bing.
I would say your wife has exhibited some feminist.
Calm. Now you know
what
about
I'm
calm.
saying. She's exhibited some feminist.
She certainly has because
Some in some ways not, some ways yes. But I would say
So there's the thing about calm. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I got a lot of powerful women in my life. Calm, particularly after the birth of our second AJ. She was hoovering within 24 hours.
so.
Right.
She's
She was making a Sunday lunch
yeah.
by day 2.
I mean,
With minimal complaints, I might add.
yeah.
So these are the types of powerful women I have in my life. That's right.
We'd call that physical resilience.
That's right. But, it's not about my life, my family life. We want to talk generally about men here.
Right.
More generally because I'm a work in progress, right? I'm trying to do better every day.
Likewise.
So, for example, traditionally in war, who is called up?
I call up Uncle Paulie.
It's not that men want to die in wars, it's that the power structures, the powers that be, the government, the way the world is fixed, assumes that men should go to war. I mean, a lot of that's changed now because a lot of war is done.
There's a few lesbian soldiers now.
There are a few lesbian soldiers, but there are also many female soldiers who are of all different sexual orientations. Their sexual orientation is not probably germane to their war effort.
Jermaine.
Not Jermaine Correa, no.
Jermaine.
No. We've taken a turn. Let's not get into Jermaine Greer and the history of feminism and the turn off she's taken. She has missed the turn off dramatically.
Well, back to the war thing. That's news to me. So you're saying a lot of women are rival killers to men now?
I mean, rival killers is I don't think how they'd put it, but yes. But what I'm saying is traditionally, many more men have died in wars than women.
And you're happy about that?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's an example of how the power structures might favour, in this case, might make life more difficult for men. If we were to be in a boat, off the coast of Dover, and it was sinking, and we were in a dinghy.
It seems like an unlikely scenario for that to happen to us three, but
it could happen. Climate change is upon us.
Are hypotheticals a big part of feminism, Deborah?
I mean, my feminism, yeah. Right. Just to sort of get us where we go.
You don't mind if I smoke a cigar here? I should have asked that.
I mean, it's a little late if I do. Now,
apologies.
But the dinghy's sinking and someone has to get out. Is it going to be you or me?
I think I know what she's doing here.
Okay.
It's you.
Yes, the sort of, I don't think it's called a safe.
The broads always say women and kids.
Right.
Women and children first. That's right.
Right.
And a man made that up.
That's right. But why is my life more valuable than yours?
Well, who invented the dinghy as well? Because we've got to think about that, haven't we?
Well, whose fault was the crash?
It's very.
Who blew up the dinghy?
The point is,
because he gets priority, doesn't he? If he blew up the dinghy to leave the boat,
He.
If it's a he. If she blew up the dinghy,
I'm confused.
She could be a they. We don't know.
They.
Right, now we'll get to that. Ellie Ray, my youngest, talks about they now a lot, and I'm learning.
I think Ben is a they.
Don't engage, Ben. He's tricky. When he gets confident, he gets too chatty.
So, basically, what you're trying to say is the women should be free from the sea.
I'm saying that there are obvious ways in which I would be favoured over you,
correct,
historically and traditionally, which are not fair. For example, women and children first. There's no reason why my life should be more important than yours, right?
What kind of guy would let a kid out after him?
Sure. No,
I mean,
well, children, we understand, because they've got their life ahead of them, they're innocent, yada, yada. But for when it comes to a man and a woman, there's nothing else taken into consideration. If there's a 20-year-old man and
20-year-old boy,
military fighting age.
If he's a 20-year-old boy, he's a man. He's a man.
He's not
really.
a man.
He is a man.
The word man is overused. We'll get to that. The word man is overused. Because I'm 66, I'm a man. A 20-year-old man and a 66-year-old man are very different beasts.
But legally, a man is...
Legally, but you're not a man. A man is a thing you become.
Okay, fine.
It takes time. It's a pilgrimage.
Okay, but...
It's 1,000 failures for every success.
I get that.
It's rejection from 1,000,000 birds before you find that right bird, right?
Don't say bird.
But but best not to say birds. But in a woman or children first situation, a 20-year-old
male. Sure.
I don't like male or female being used as nouns. I find it upsetting. When people say, there's all those females out there. Women, they're not females. Why are we saying females? That's the descriptor.
Depends on the person, I think.
It's an adjective. It doesn't.
I think a man and a woman is a state of mind. It's a state of becoming.
That's very
nice.
A
female is something you're born or not born. But I think you become a woman. You are a woman. You entered this studio. It was an event.
This is turning more and more into a Britney Spears song, circa 2006. Now, well,
you got a presence about you. You've led a life.
Yeah, have you done just to introduce you, because we had to start late. This is Deborah Frances-White. She was one of the most successful podcasts in the game, the Guilty Feminist. I don't know why you're guilty. It's a great success story. You're doing great work over there. You should be very proud.
I'm very happy with the podcast, and I love the listeners, and I love the feel of the show and where the show's gone.
Would you get me on it? I'm a feminist too.
No.
No.
End of story. Just absolutely not.
So going back to, was it structural power? Is that what you call it?
Structural power.
Right, so Tony runs the Bing, right? He's got his strip joint, right?
Is this the same as a social construct? Because I work in construction. I never heard of that.
No.
Right, so Tony runs a strip joint, right? And his dancers, he looks after them. They've got health insurance. They get paid well. No, all right. So they get paid well.
Good tips.
Good money. They get looked after. Where's the power there? Because they're getting good money.
They get more money than Howie on the bar.
I mean, they're getting paid more than the geezers on the bar.
Correct.
And the geezers on the cloakroom.
I would say it entirely depends on each individual woman. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a woman commodifying her body. We live in a capitalist world, so if a woman wishes to commodify her body, then she is freely able to do that and should be supported to do it. Just however, there are, of course, exploitative power structures that can make somebody's journey within that, and one where I would say that the structures, the bosses of the clubs, could make more feminist choices than they do.
I will be the first to admit, I believe sex work is work. I do, because if I had to suck off 20 guys in it after that, I'd be fucking exhausted.
Sure. I would not call exotic dancing sex work, though.
Well, they get extras round the back.
Okay.
I mean,
right.
it's very lucrative.
Get cancelled for being on this podcast, right?
No, it's very lucrative.
I really enjoyed the Guilty Feminist, and I feel like this is the end.
We're just talking it
We're
out.
learning. We're all learning.
Never let it be said that you're not doing the work.
I'm doing the work.
He's doing the work.
I'm doing the work. And, as we were talking about, sex work is work. Have you got any tips so I could make it more comfortable when I'm with a sex worker?
No.
Okay.
But, you got feminist prostitutes. Is that possible?
I don't think you should say that. Is that right?
We would say sex worker now.
See,
I
said it right.
A feminist sex worker.
Yeah,
right?
I know a feminist sex worker who I'm friends with.
Right. So if I go to your friend, does that make me a feminist?
No.
By osmosis.
No.
Right.
No.
So how do you become one?
It doesn't rub off on you during intercourse, no.
Right.
No.
It doesn't.
No. Nor does Marxism, any of the isms. None of the isms will rub off on you during intercourse.
Gonorrhea.
That might.
That's another issue. Strap up, all the kids out there.
That might.
Especially with the brass.
Strap up and also Blue Chew. So
That's our sponsor.
just related.
Got it.
What is a guilty feminist?
So my show is called The Guilty Feminist because I feel like we all have, but especially me and friends of mine that come on the show, hypocrisies and insecurities that might undermine or erode our feminism. But if we get them out on the table and we exfoliate them, we laugh at them, or we work on them, build muscle, then we'll become better feminists. So I think in the time I've been doing the show, I've become a more powerful feminist, and I'm able to take up more space because I have acknowledged the spaces in which I think, that's not very feminist, that thought's not very feminist. What I'm saying to you guys is I'm a feminist, but some of my sexual fantasies aren't.
Right.
Oh,
For example?
it took a detour at the end there.
Certainly
You're talking about community.
There's
and bringing
absolutely
people
no
together.
need to go into my sexual
It
fantasies.
feels a little bit
I wasn't going to go there.
But the birds, they like to be respected and spoken nicely to in the daytime, but when the night time comes and the bedroom door closes, it's a whole different game. What's that about, Deborah?
Desire and there's nothing wrong with desire. It's a strange and murky place. You can be aroused by something without approving of it, Ray.
Right. So by day, if your boss grabs your ass, that's a no. But by night, if you're having an affair with your boss and he spanks your ass and says you're fired, you dirty cow, and that gets you going.
I really don't know where to go with this.
It's like the dinghy thing. It's a hypothetical situation.
It's a hypothetical situation. It's very like the dinghy, yeah. Yeah.
Instead of a dinghy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. God.
I was wondering, I got some quick fire feminism questions.
Thank God.
Quick fire round. We'll add some music. Will you add some music to this, Ben? Little jingle.
Sex positive or sex neutral?
Positive.
Patriarchy or matriarchy?
I prefer.
You can pass.
Yeah, I'd prefer a kind of egalitarian situation, but if I have to have one, I'll have matriarchy, thanks.
Or non-binarchy.
We've barely tried that.
Sub or dom?
Just what?
We'll just go rolling with it.
Well, Dom then.
Okay. Burqa, yes or no?
Boca.
Burqa.
What's that?
The
Hijab.
Burqa. Oh, hijab. Well,
because I'm a fan. Black is very slimming.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's not a question that I can answer.
Okay.
But women should not be asked to take off anything or put anything on that they don't want to. Each woman should be able to put on and take off anything she wants to.
That sounded like a yes. manspreading or mansplaining?
I mean, can I have neither of those? If I
gotta
had
have one.
Oh, okay, then splaining.
Splaining. Pay for porn or tube sites?
I mean, pay because artists need to be paid.
Okay, lobster tube or red tube?
I don't know what those are.
X-hamster or X-videos?
I don't know what those options are.
You porn or you jizz, a bit more specific.
I just don't know what any of these things are.
Okay.
I genuinely don't. This is not me being coy. I have no idea.
It's okay. It's quick fire. Braziole or strap-on?
What's the first one?
A man's member or a strap-on?
Would I prefer a penis or a strap-on?
Right.
I mean, it depends on the situation.
Okay, situation.
I mean, the great thing about a strap-on is it's reliable. A penis has its own mind.
Yes, it does. And men are trash or men are equal individuals worthy of kindness, love, and respect?
Oh, equal individuals worth of kindness, love, and respect.
Well, that's nice.
We'll clip that one up.
That's very nice.
Thank you so much for that. We'll get a jingle as well, Ben. Ben. Yeah. A jingle for that as well. He's new. The last guy was a Scouse man. He's not going to do it again.
Why did they ban page 3?
That's a good question.
Because
first of all, I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you explain what a page 3 is? Because for our less advanced audience members.
On tabloids in this country, tabloid newspapers used to have a topless young woman on page 3. So page 1 would be the headlines. Page 2 would be, this is what's going to be in the paper. Page 3 would be nearly naked woman. And the reason it was banned is that is not an appropriate place. Women are, as we've said, no one should say put on, take off. Every woman can commodify her body in a capitalist society. However, if it's in the newspaper, it's sending a message that if on the opposite page there's a picture of the Chancellor of the Exchequer and that person is a woman, or the Home Secretary, or what are we saying about women and their status in society, and what are we saying to kids about women and status in society? So it's not that there's no place for topless women in our society, but it is on page 3 of the newspaper.
Right, so, but hang on. If most of the pictures of the birds in the paper are wearing clothes, isn't that sending a message that women should always be clothed? No. And that sort of desexualises women, Having one that's naked makes us go, oh, it's nice when women are naked sometimes. If they're all wearing clothes, we go, oh, women should always wear clothes.
What about if it was body positive? We had a few chubbier broads maybe or older, younger.
I don't see pictures of naked men just for sport in
What about
newspapers.
If they were included?
Well, just there next to them.
But they wouldn't be, and there wouldn't be the same call or desire for it.
No.
Male gaze, etc., etc.
Well, the man's wearing clothes and the bird's topless.
I'm
nice.
What?
Because women like them. Women like men.
They're dominant
in clothes.
In uniform.
A man in a suit, because the birds like that, don't they? Put a man in a suit next to the topless bird, and there's equality.
No, there isn't equality. Don't do that, please. Don't bring back page 3.
Okay, page 3's out.
I'm delighted that you don't have the power to bring back page 3.
The Duchess has spoken.
I never saw page 3 anyway.
No, you didn't have it. You didn't have it over in New Jersey.
I mean, it sounds quite compelling.
People just read it for the articles.
Is feminism a London thing, or is it... Because in Kent, when I'm in Kent, no one seems to give a fuck.
It's a London thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Guilty feminists of the United Kingdom unite. Of the world, no, we're feminists everywhere, but I understand that there may be less evidence in Kent on a day-to-day basis, but you know what? Some of my best friends live in Margate and Folkestone, and they're doing feminism proud.
Well, they're sort of like an extension of London now, aren't they? Margate and Folkestone. It's not really the Kent that I knew.
Absolutely. Hey, Deborah, what is third wave feminism?
Oh, I mean, it's really fourth wave now.
We're on the fourth wave already?
Yeah, we're on the fourth wave.
What about the fifth wave?
Well, we don't know what that's going to be yet.
What's the fourth wave?
The fourth wave is intersectional feminism, where we look at other intersections of marginalization or access, and but also we have the power to utilize the internet to mobilize and connect.
Connect who?
Well, connect feminists to each other.
So it's about community and connecting the feminists to each other.
Yeah, but for the workers to take control of the means of communication and unite to find each other.
I thought it was all about upskirting. And,
well, that's one of the ways in which the internet
the third wave.
So Gina Martin was the victim of an upskirting, and she used the internet to galvanize, and the law to galvanize against it, and managed to pass a law with the team against it. So it made it illegal, because before it wasn't illegal, and it wasn't illegal because when most laws were made, a man would have had to lie down with a huge camera and a black sort of sheet over his face.
Very inconvenient.
And get the woman to just stand there for ages, very, very still.
Right. Did you know in Japan they keep the noise on the camera to activate for that very reason?
The actual phone is actually inbuilt. You can't turn it off.
You can't take off the noise because they're such prolific perverts. That's what I'm just repeating what I heard. So I'm with you on upskirt because I think it's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah,
quite frankly.
But
it's not okay.
Yeah, but
any kids watch it, don't do it.
Yeah, but nor is stereotyping all Japanese people as prolific perverts.
No, I'm not. Not all. I'm just saying the ones that do it, they're perverted.
Well, the people.
So you sympathise with an upskirter here?
No, I'm saying the men who upskirt are global, not just Japanese. But I'm delighted that Japanese technology has been designed in such a way to stop those, let's be honest, men in Japan from doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think they get drawers out of jukeboxes as well.
What's that?
They get broads underwear out of a machine. I don't know about that so much in Japan.
Well, I think there's more.
Might be related.
There's more skirts in Japan, so there's more upskirting by association. We've got less and less skirts in England. Do you find?
I mean, I don't know the stats on upskirting.
I feel like there's less skirts in England now.
I don't know
because of feminism, maybe,
or upskirting globally. I don't know what the slice and dice on that would be. But
here's a question: what's coercive control?
Oh God.
Good question, Tony.
Thank you.
Is it? It's when somebody in your personal or could be in your working life who already, where there is some kind of power imbalance, uses that power imbalance to control you into doing things that you would rather not do.
And would you have any sort of hands-on tips for a sort of man in business trying to get the most out of his staff?
Definitely do not use coercive control. It's illegal and it's immoral. So I would say.
I don't think the law's a problem.
I would say motivate with positivity and find out what it is that incentivizes and motivates your staff, and in a positive, engaged way, and go there.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Deep fakes. You know about a deep fake?
I mean, I know what they are.
That's when you attach pornography to someone else. It's not them.
It's definitely unethical porn.
Right. Ethical porn, that's when everybody in the bukkake is paid a living wage.
Oh, my God.
Is that right?
No? I think it's more when everybody is consensual and everybody is getting a fair... I would say a fair cut of the box office, as in regular film.
Even distribution, and not just of...
I would say it's when everyone is doing things that they wish to do, and when they're being paid fairly, considering the profits available.
Right. That's what I wanted to say. When you're talking about uneven power balance, all the broads in pornography get paid a lot more than the guys.
Well... not necessarily, but sure.
Well, that's the main emphasis of porn, on straight porn, is the bird.
We were talking earlier. I don't watch any porn. I watch softcore. You know, with just people kissing, holding hands. I'm trying to be a better man.
So on a film, now I'm quite well known. Tony knows that I like to play away from Elaine, my wife. We're in an open relationship. She's not aware of it, but we are.
Does she not listen to this?
No, she's not interested in this sort of thing. But on the movies, I like to play away. I've cheated on every film I've done, and sometimes I'll have a bit of hot and sloppy with a runner or a makeup girl. Is that coercive control? Because they're excited to meet me. They want to help. They get excited, I get excited.
I wouldn't recommend sleeping with anybody with whom you have in a circumstance in which they cannot get away without it costing them. So if it will cost them their job to walk away if they started to feel uncomfortable,
right?
So I would suggest that if you want to have consensual sexual relationships, you do it in situations where there is no other power imbalance, which can be difficult if you're famous.
Yeah.
I also recommend that you don't do that in a way that puts anybody else in a situation of being unfaithful. So that's very difficult for you without having a conversation with your wife. So I'm going to go out on a large limb and say, yeah, you're going to have a conversation with your wife and then only have sex with people who are free and clear to walk away without it costing them anything.
Right, it's quite complicated. I've sensed that a lot of, basically from top to bottom, she's telling me that it's not right.
Well, you got to have these conversations. They're not easy. They're not easy. You got to lay down boundaries. And if you want to be a better man, sex positive, you're going to have to explain.
I'm very sex positive, Tony. Very, very sex positive. That's my problem. I'm too fucking positive. Do you believe in an open relationship, Deborah? Do you think it's possible?
Yes.
How do you do it?
Just make a clear agreement with the person that you are.
Because I'm polyamorous, but a lot of my partners are not aware. But
then that's not polyamory. That's just infidelity.
Well, no, because it's a feeling, isn't it? It's something that it's a lifestyle.
No. Everyone has to know. Everyone has to know, and then it can be polyamory.
So how do I tell them? Because they're going to get mad. Yes,
that is the situation. What I would recommend is telling them before you get to go into bed, before you get into bed with them.
Kills the mood, it kills the mood a bit.
Does.
Yeah, but that's really the only option you've got if you want to be a better man.
So we're talking from now. But the others,
No, I think retrospectively you're going to have to say, oh, I've done this. How do you feel about it? And then you're going to have to sit with the emotions of the people that you've not told the truth to.
I don't like doing that.
No, but you want to be a better man. And being a better man involves doing things you don't want to do. That's the whole... everyone would be a better man if it was easy.
You're right.
What about telling them all after you've done it?
I mean,
so at least you've had your fun.
You've got no choice now but to do that.
Like every new one he gets with.
No.
He tells them after.
If you want to be a better man, you've got to do difficult things and give up
difficult
some fun.
things. I do difficult things.
And
believe me.
If you want to be a better man, you've got to do difficult things, and you've got to have difficult conversations. Well.
Yeah. So I say I'm polyamorous. You're one of many.
Yeah.
That's okay.
If it is okay with them, they might not be. They might be monogamous people. They may not want that.
No, they're polyamorous.
Well, if they're polyamorous and they know that you're polyamorous, you haven't got any problems at all.
I thought it just becomes polyamory if it's...
No, that's not polyamory. No. Polyamory is
So you have to agree.
It's got to be ethical non-monogamy. Have you ever seen that on any of the dating apps?
Yeah. Non-monogamy.
ENM.
That's just PR for a sex drive.
No.
Ethical non-monogamy, because I know a lot of people like from Kent, they just want to fuck it a lay-by.
Get
but
their end
they don't
away.
have the... They don't have the
ethical. It's just non-monogamy. If it's not, if everyone doesn't know about it, it's just non-monogamy. It's not ethical non-monogamy.
So I'm non-monogamy.
You are unethically non-monogamous.
Can that be a genre?
So that's what I can say.
Yeah, but you could say that. But
say, hon, you need to understand I'm unethically non-monogamous. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
But then you can't claim to be a better man. Why are you doing this podcast?
Well, we're working through it. Now I know I can say I'm unethically unmonogamous.
I don't know if I want to be a better man.
No, you do. You make a great step.
It's a lot of chat. You feel the more chat you have before a shag, the less the shag is.
No. You could say it straight up.
Yeah, but
you say I'm unethically unmonogamous.
Yeah, I'll find that.
And they'll be confused.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that both of you need to stop having sex for a year, and you sort of need to reconfigure. Just really think it through. Read The Ethical Slut. Do you know?
I read The Ethical Slut.
What do you think?
It's very long, but there were some great points made. There were some great points made. I'm trying to think. It was written in the 80s, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's really
It
quite
needs
a
to
long
be
time ago.
updated a little bit. But I like a lot of feminist literature. I like Laura Bates.
Do you?
Huge fan. She followed me because I was on another thing. I was talking about that book, Everyday Sexism. Mm-hmm. Big fan. And she followed me on Instagram, and I did something I sent her a message saying, keep up the great work. I thought it was a bit patronizing. I didn't mean it to come across in that way. Laura, if you're watching, love you, babe.
I suspect she's not. I don't think this is for her.
Well, it's for everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna suggest it is not Laura Bates's first point of call when she comes to podcasts. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe at night time she likes watching stuff like this, because they do change at night, don't they? Here's an ethical dilemma for you, Deborah. Now, Saudi Arabia, they're paying for a lot of footballers to go over there now. They've bought golf. For $500,000 a week, would you be the resident comedian at El Etifak under Steven Gerrard?
No.
$500,000 a week?
No.
Why would you not do that?
Because the human rights issues there's no money that can.
When you're over there, you can make a change.
Tax-free.
I doubt it. I doubt I could make a change when I'm over there. If I'm over there, I'm endorsing it. So I'm going to go with a definite no, even if it's $500,000 a week.
$26 million a year.
I'm all right. I don't need $26 million a year.
What do they do for human rights that are so bad over there? Building stadiums is what I heard.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's really for more of an expert on human rights.
You know anyone?
Come on. No one I'd recommend to come here, no. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm an Amnesty International ambassador. I can't be sending them here.
$26 million a year, though.
I wouldn't do it
With
either.
all the money, you could build a feminist school and a hospital.
Where's that money come from? Where's that money?
Yeah, but where does it go?
Something about gambling is you turn good money, bad money into good money into bad. You wash it.
That's right.
Once you go
Take
through,
the money.
you could do something different. You could make real change.
I'm not going to do that.
Which borough do you live in?
Camden.
You could turn Camden into a feminist utopia with that sort of money.
Well, that's a lovely idea, but I don't think I can go to Saudi Arabia, take $26 million pounds out of Saudi Arabia, and bring it back to Camden.
They wouldn't miss it.
I feel I would not feel good about that.
It'd be popular though.
I don't think I'd feel good about that.
Would there be a backlash?
There's loads of ways of becoming popular. I could deal arms and get rich, but I would.
I can help with that.
I would. I don't want to. So
All right.
there's loads of ways we could all be richer, but you want to be a better man, so you wouldn't do that.
So we're talking about men. So let me ask you this, right? So you got black girl magic, you got white power. Are there any benefits that men have?
Well, the history of the world.
That's right, because the 50% of the population is men, 50% is broads, but the patriarchy rules.
That's right.
So I got to ask you, where did the women go wrong?
So the reason that I started talking about, women and children first and men being cannon fodder and that kind of thing is it's easier to see when it's your oppression. But once you've acknowledged those things, are there any things which we didn't really get to that you see that are harder for women? That where there's unfairness in
walking in the street at night.
Right.
Right.
How do you feel about marriage as a feminist? Do you agree with it, or do you think it infantilizes a woman?
I mean,
because they have to wear a big dress.
I think marriage has evolved. So if people want to get married now, then hurrah. I don't think marriage is. Are
you married?
It was. I am.
Did you take someone else's name? Because that's not very feminist.
I did not.
There you go. That's a proper feminist.
I kept my own name.
Did you do the speech?
I did.
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
Well, she likes talking.
That's right. Did he do a speech?
Yeah.
No. Gender equality. Yeah. Whose was better?
I'd say it was a tie. Equality.
Very nice.
You work together, don't you? You and your husband.
Did you wear a suit?
Did I wear? No, I wore a bridal gown.
Oh.
A dress.
Yeah.
All right. What colour was it?
White.
Oh, interesting. Quite old school, that.
Very.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite an old school wedding.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, because it's at odds with the modern feminist.
That's why my show's called The Guilty Feminist.
Right.
I'm a feminist, but I wore a bridal gown.
Yeah.
And
right.
I'm trying to be a good man, but
yeah.
I'm a fan of the broads. I can't lie. I'm unethically non-monogamous here.
Deborah, what is toxic femininity?
Toxic femininity is probably things like being apologetic, taking up too little space, being thinking you're there as a decoration or an adornment. But those things don't tend to be harmful in the way that toxic masculinity is. They don't seem to. Toxic masculinity is sometimes it manifests itself as violence because men have not been taught traditionally to process their emotions. So, right. You've experienced this, Tony, no doubt, where, you
Very much so.
You don't know how to feel about things. So perhaps the only emotion available to you sometimes is anger, but really it's covering embarrassment or it's covering insecurity or anxiety, something else. So there are times when, you would like to experience sadness, but instead anger is all that's available to you. And that's very sad. And that's been imposed upon you by the patriarchy.
That's right. How do I change that? What can I do?
Well, I would suggest therapy, but I think you've already had quite a lot.
This therapy's bullshit. I've been doing it for fucking years.
I mean...
That's why I'm podcasting now. Maybe
have you tried
ayahuasca?
I really recommend ayahuasca. It's a psychedelic. It's a Peruvian tea. I went up a mountain in Spain and did it. It's a
feminist drug.
No. Although, yes, because you talk to Mother Earth. So I would go out...
Is that when you're born out of a big vagina?
No.
Why is Earth a mother? Who decided it was a woman?
I don't know, but people see a woman when they do ayahuasca.
Like a big testicle.
It's a psychedelic. Earth. It's a psychedelic tea, and you see what you see, and many people see a woman who they call Mother Ayahuasca or Mother Earth.
Women are aesthetically nicer. You don't want to have an acid trip and see a big fucking distended testicle.
That's right.
Right. Well, I don't think most people see a vulva either. They just feel a female presence. They hear a woman's voice, or they see a woman.
Breasts.
They don't see that.
They're comforting. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I've never heard of anyone saying I saw the breasts of Mother Earth or Mother Ayahuasca. That's not what people see. Tony Soprano's ayahuasca trip would be fascinating.
Because I'm trying to be obviously
a better man.
I'm not even none of that, as you could tell. I'm a fucking straight white man. I'm one of the worst, mediocre straight white men. And I think they coast. You agree with that? The straight white man, he coasts through life.
I mean, some do. I mean, some of my favorite David Attenborough is a straight white man. You have to remember.
As far as we know. I've heard stories about Attenborough turning up at parties.
That's one for the Patreon. Straight white men, they coast through life. You only have to look at the stats, right? 85% of UK homeless are men. Says it all.
I don't think that's because they're coasting.
Well, what is it? They need to... Something's got to give.
I don't think people end up homeless generally because life has been easy.
I'm saying they're mediocre.
I don't think that explains homelessness.
Oh.
Apparently, Attenborough and Schofield tag team.
Ray, these are unsubstantiated, but more discussion on the Patreon for that.
Maybe you could change it to Matreon.
Matreon.
That's nice. We could do a lot of that for 1 week, because that's a thing with equality. You just do it for a day, don't you?
Generally, yeah.
As a culture.
International Women's Day, which has now turned into a week or sometimes a month.
Right,
like
vegan.
Pride Month.
Exactly.
Pride Month.
How do you feel about Pride Month when, all the flags come up and, Virgin Airways is telling you that pilot is, I think it's great.
Tesco,
they got a rainbow salad.
Listen,
I think it's better than
fixing
how it was the problem?
Before, where it's. I mean, there's always issues with corporates jumping on a bandwagon and trying to make money out of it and exploit it. But I'd rather we be in a situation in society now where, or at least some societies now, where companies feel like that being part of the Pride movement is going to make them money and not going to, and not something to be ashamed of. So I would say, it's very tricky, that balancing act, because I understand when people think it's exploitative, but also I think we live in a capitalist society and we are asking for change and representation, so then we can't really be angry when we get it. What we can be angry about is if Pride is completely overtaken, as in the Pride Parade is overtaken by here's the Barclays float, here's the JP Morgan float. We don't have space for grassroots floats.
I do think it's gay people's turn to be exploited for capitalism. I think they've waited a long time. Put some lesbians on Barclays' ad.
It's been a delight to end my career here.
No, you're not going to end
a
career.
An unqualified delight to say, if this is where it all ends, gang, then I've had a good run.
We're just talking. We haven't got into any spicy takes. It's in many ways like a companion to the Guilty Feminist.
It's not that.
No, let me finish. It's like, because we're men.
There's just no world.
We're not guilty of being men, but we're unashamedly trying to be more understanding of man and male issues. And what you do is similar, because you're a feminist, but you're somewhat guilty. And, there's a common thread.
No, it's not even an acquaintance of the Guilty Feminist. It's someone the Guilty Feminist will never bump into, much less go on holidays with.
Deborah, it's been an absolute honour to have you here.
It's certainly been a time.
Have you enjoyed yourself? Have you enjoyed? Do you want to do some promo?
I mean, I am here. I'm not here against my will.
She's agreed to be here.
I agreed to be here. I didn't really know what it was, and now I do. Obviously, I would have said no.